Director of the Art House Killarney. Tracy's journey has taken her from studying fine art at Crawford College of Art and Design to becoming an award-winning artist and educator. She has built a vibrant creative hub offering classes, workshops, exhibitions and community projects that help people of all ages find their creative voice. Through her work, Tracy uses art as a force for confidence, connection and personal growth. Please join me in giving a very warm Killarney welcome to Tracy Cronin. No problem at all. Let's start at the very beginning. So what is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, it's a funny one because I would have grown up with my dad with a camcorder in his hand at all times.
Okay.
So my childhood was very well documented with our Kerry accents. We had very thick Kerry accents. But my dad is from Dinniquilla, so
Okay.
we didn't lick it off the stone. But yeah, so I probably won't go with anything that's recorded because I feel like I've watched enough of those. But one I would say, my mom is in the front there now, will remember this, would be when I was going to primary school and it was a very blustery day like in Winnie the Pooh, and mom was like, hold on to me now because you're going to blow away. And I actually genuinely thought I was going to blow away. And I was holding on for dear life, and I think she opened the car door and it just burst open, and I was like, I'm actually going to die and I'm going to be gone. And I think the school bag went flying as well, and it was all very terrifying. And I was 5, and I'm vertically challenged, so I was very small. So I really did think I was going to blow away. And you got me in the car, and it was all okay. Obviously, I'm still here to tell the tale. But years later, I did think that I was flying in the air. And I remember asking my mom, I remember going, Mom, that was so bizarre that the wind actually took me off my feet. I don't know how. The mom was like, no, that never happened. But then I had this really weird interest in flying after that for a few years. So my second mom here, Kathy, her daughter Emma, one of my best friends, would have been in my house every weekend. We had this obsession with learning how to fly. So we'd have plastic bags. This is when plastic was allowed. The Super Value plastic bags, and we'd have like ropes tied to them, be running off hills, and we'd be making wings and all sorts of mad stuff. So I think that was the first time I realised I was a bit daft and a bit creative.
I was going to say
with an imagination.
Creative, because when we're big daft with creative, because we've also been a bit daft, we're all very creative in this room, okay? It's lovely to hear childhood memories and an interpretation of it in such a lovely way. You know, that you kind of have this memory of actually flying. Isn't that just so beautiful?
Absolutely. And I remember as well, if it was cloudy, my mom would always say the Care Bears were in the sky.
Oh.
I actually think they were looking down on me. Very sad.
And it's kind of, when you talk about it, it feels like there's almost like a magic in you.
Yeah.
That still feels at all. That's true, and I think that's in some creative people. Do you feel a bit like there's a bit of magic in the world in ways?
I do, absolutely, and I feel like, I suppose that's why I love working with kids, because they have magic within them, and with Florence, which is also weird, she has this, when she was small, had this crazy fear of wind, and I'm like, how did I pass this on? I don't understand. We went up to Glensanashig, that place? Near Kells?
Is it an Abbey? No?
Glensanashig Park. Anyway, it's near Kells Beach.
Okay.
It's a national park, but it's in the mountains. But very fierce winds up there one day, and she just terrified. And I was like, how do I pass this fear on unconsciously? But no, I do feel like the magic. I feel it with the Florence. I just get it off kids, and I have it within me. I'm a big kid myself.
Yeah, and it's a lovely thing when that. A lot of people now, I've heard talking about Christmas, and a lot of people have said it's lovely for kids. And a lot of people said to me, do you find Christmas quite magical again now because you've got a little girl who's down there? And I said, I was the exact same before Anna came along. I literally have just been we call it a big kid, but I think it's that magic thing that just doesn't leave some people. I think some creative people have that magic. And you have that, I don't know you very well, but you have that about you, that magic.
Absolutely. If I hear a song, I love Disney, grew up watching all of that kind of stuff, musicals and things I just get very excited about all of that kind of stuff still, and Christmas and everything.
Okay, the magic is alive.
It's alive.
And when do you have lots of memories of that kind of, that energy in yourself when you were a kid? Were you very creative? Were you all painting and putting on shows when you were a kid, or what were you like?
Yeah, I would have been. Behind the couch was like my creative zone, and yeah, just like my school copybooks, like making things all the time, drawing out an art box. Yeah, that's when I felt like happiest, was like in my own world, playing as well, like having a bowl of marbles and like them all having different names and like, you know, which sounds a bit weird. But just mom would have her chocolate pop section and I'd have all my dinosaurs next to it. And yeah, just was always playing, always creating. Like we used to always put on shows with my friends, and that growing up was always like a big part of, you know, my childhood.
Okay, and it might answer my next question, but can you remember the first time you got a reaction from others for something you said or did?
Yes, in primary school, again, when I went to school, there was, preschool was a thing, but not really accessible to all of us, so I went straight into primary school at 4, and I found the rules difficult, I suppose, because I didn't understand that you couldn't take toys into school.
Mm-hmm.
So like I brought my Barbies in one day and like was actually properly having a really good play, and then the teacher came down and interrupted me and was really not happy. So she took the Barbies and brought them up, and you know, it was like, we don't do this in school. I was like, okay, fine, but it was not fine. So I was stewing, and within a few minutes I was like, I'm getting those Barbies. So I went up and I got the Barbies back off her and proceeded to bring them down and play again, and that's when my mom scolded.
Oh.
So yeah, there was a reaction, and my sister was called first, so yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay.
My first big reaction.
First big reaction, it stuck with you. And did you feel at the time, if you can remember it, that if you felt like you had done the right thing, or did you feel any sense of, oh, I've been bold?
Oh, I knew after it was the wrong thing,
Okay.
when I was in the moment, like I'd be a bit stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah, and you were 4, for you for like standing up for yourself like that. Yeah, so would you say you had a strong personality even as a little kid?
I think so.
Okay.
What do you think, Mom? Yeah,
She's
not yeah.
I can just see this head going the whole time.
My mom would say I was probably a bit of a bossy dude.
I think you're answering all my questions before I get them.
Yeah, sorry.
Were you, as a child, like, did you like being the centre of attention, or would you ever go through phases of being more shy and retiring?
I'd say I probably did like to be centre of attention, but I like kind of both, because
Yeah.
I think an artistic personality, I would have felt like to be on my own as well and have my own time and create and do that. But I had huge FOMO, I'd hate to miss anything. So like, you know, if there was something going on, I'd like to know what's happening and I'd like to be in the thick of it.
Okay.
So I'd say a bit of both.
Bit of both. And then as a teenager, because sometimes people can change when that innocence leaves us a little bit. Did you still like being the centre of attention in school, or were you more, did you pull back a little bit when you were a teenager?
No, I'd say it was much the same, but like I think in secondary school, because I went to the ISK, it was a mixed school, I just had a really good group of friends.
Yes.
So like we were all like very kind of close and stuff, so I don't know if I was like trying to be any more in the centre of attention than anyone else. I just think we were all just really, we had a good circle of friends. I was very fortunate.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's nice to have friendships like that. And because you're in an industry, as I have been in a field where people might say, do people accept that you did something so different? So when people ask me that question, I never felt that anyone, you know, acted strangely about it. But I don't know, what was your experience of going to a field that isn't the everyday norm? Let's say, like, did everyone react? Of course you did that, or did anyone react strangely about it?
No, I don't think so, because well, initially I was going to go down a similar route to my dad, who was an engineer.
Okay.
So I was doing honours maths and honours physics. I don't know why, because I really didn't enjoy it. I felt like, you know the way you go to school, you feel like this is what I should do.
Yeah.
And plus I wanted to please my mom and my dad, thinking, you know, you're creative, so you'll do design engineering, because that's a creative engineering. So I thought that's where I was going. And then I did a competition, it's now called Jump Tour, but it was called Form and Fusion back in the day, when Ray Darcy was hosting it in Mill Street. It was, you know, in its origin phase. And that we didn't have transition year at the time either, so that was in 5th year alongside, you know, schoolwork or whatever. But like, it just changed my whole life.
Wow.
And doing it was like being in a, I suppose, creating a costume out of recycled materials, first of all, was so exciting, like the prospect of it. And then doing it with my best friends, and then going from heat to heat and seeing the way the teachers interacted with us. And then we had to like do creative boards, we had to talk, you know, it was just the whole creative process blew my mind, and I was like, I want to be in this spirit, this is where I want to be. So I thought I was going to go down fashion route for a while.
Okay.
But then, yeah, I think it was painting was my calling always in the end. But no, it really did change. And I worked with Form of Fusion afterwards.
Okay.
For 2 years I was working with them behind the scenes, just volunteering because I just loved it so much.
Oh, so what age were you in the Form of Future? Was that in the secondary school
Yeah, I
age?
was 16.
Okay. And when you worked with afterwards, was that after you finished kind of?
I was in college
You were
when
in
I
college.
reached out, and I was like, can I please just be a part of it? Because like it was growing legs, and now it's jump tour, and now it's an international thing, and it's incredible. Like the work. You know well, Catherine's daughter was with me as well, and my dad actually, or the costume that we made was made out of, it was sponsored by Coca-Cola. If I properly thought of this at the time, you know, you can't make a dress out of the sponsorship. They're not going to pick you to win.
Okay.
Anyway, so like I'm over it.
Haven't drank Coca-Cola since.
It's fine. We still got a prize. I did try a lot when we took it. But it was amazing. But like the dress we designed, we flattened all of the cans, and we had like with all different types of cans, all the different drinks, and then the way we layered it was colour coordinated. But the cool thing about it is when she moved, the air went through it, and when she collapsed, the whole dress went flat. It was a big spectacle. So yeah, it was very cool.
There's a lot of performance to that piece. You know,
One
like
best performance.
You won best. Oh, I was going to ask. So
Yeah.
is that's an element to this? This word is not a word I know at all. I find
So
it
you
so
have to
fascinating.
do a catwalk. It's a 2-minute catwalk, and we were supporting her in the background as her background dancers. Oh my God, I've never danced in my life. I don't know how we got best performance, but it wasn't us, it was her. We were in the background. But no, it was incredible, and it was amazing, and it was in Mill Street, and yeah, I'm just still chuffed about it because I just still think that's what kind of was the driving force to make me want to become an art teacher, because I was dealing with a load of the art teachers, and they were all so amazing. And I was like, you get to do this all the time, every day. Like, this is fun.
And it's great that you saw that side of it, of like, you know, becoming a teacher, because sometimes when you're doing an artistic thing, you're an artist, you know, and then
Yeah.
you think, but to have to see earlier on in your life what teaching is like, to be that teacher and to be inspired to teach it. That's a lovely, lovely thing. So tell us a little bit more about your background, because I don't even know all of it. I know you've got the art house now, but like your journey, so that sounds amazing. And then you studied in college, so what was the journey after that? Like, what was that like?
So I went to Crawford at 17. I think this is another question. I'm really sorry, ruining your flow now.
Not at all. We'll find our own flow, that's fine.
But I went to our college straight after school. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because I was probably the youngest, and a lot of the people in our college were like 25 and above and had like loads of experience. Kind of knew what their voice was artistically, knew what they were saying. And I went to our college, and like one of the first classes, a man just dropped a robe, and I nearly lost my life. I had and then they were like, change pose. I was like, it was very traumatizing to start. But then they brought ladies in the next year, so I could get 6 years. The whole thing was very overwhelming. And so the first 6 months were like project based, and I was like, okay, like I'm good with projects, and I like to know what to do. But then it was like, off you go after Christmas. Came back after Christmas, and I was like, what? Like I was picking cabbages and garlics, and I'm good at still life. And then they were like, what's it mean? Like, what's this about? So I really did struggle the first 2 years with like trying to find my voice and what. I suppose because I was just going, like, I was like, I'm going out at the weekend. Do you know, like, that's where I was at.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did get through it, and I went to St. Martin's, and after I did a J1, and then I went to St. Martin's, and I did a course there, and that kind of changed everything. I met this mixed media painter who used wax and different materials, and I was just opened my mind, and I was like, oh my God, someone's showing me how to do something, which is great. And after that, then I went back, and like it just changed my whole trajectory of where I was going with my work, and then I was able to actually go through it. But I really loved the leadership, and I love teaching because again, I like a process. I like to know what to do. And I think had I been a bit older going to art college, like I'd love to go back now, but like, I can't. In that, I suppose what my recommendation for anyone that would be going to do something like that would be like, just know yourself and live life a little bit before you do something.
Mm-hmm.
Where like it's very personal. You're putting your own, you know, your own self out there.
Yeah.
So after that, then I was teaching in lots of schools actually, because in Cork, the way it works, you know, it's very hard just to get one solid job in a school. So you could be like, you know, if you're ETB, you could be in like 4 schools, or which was amazing, great experience. So in my early 20s, I was in Knocknaheeny, which is my main place, which I absolutely loved. It was super challenging because I suppose it was just a new, completely different environment, and I was working in the school where they film the young offenders. So, you know, like even the language and the whole culture was just totally different from what I've been used to, but like so rewarding. Like, you know, nearly got knocked out once with the chicken roll in the canteen. Like there'd be like
it's art in itself.
it is. And I also did like voluntary work at night and worked before the Kirky, and just, you know, a place for kids to go, and you know, they just so that they're not hanging out in the streets and stuff, and they feed the kids and all of that. So like that was so rewarding, and like that actually really informed my own practice and everything. And I was in College of Commerce, I was doing a bit of lecturing in Crawford, I was kind of bouncing around different places, but not really was where my heart was.
Okay.
And I absolutely loved it. But then I got pregnant and I felt, I can't stay here any longer. I think my time is over.
Right.
But I did love it.
And coming back to Killarney, you've really just brought something so wonderful to the community here. You know, I think it's just so beautiful that we have this home for art in Killarney, and it's just the most beautiful house. I love the fact that it's a house. You know, it's actually a house of art, which is.
I know.
Did you have an image like, you know, I talk about manifestation a lot, but manifestation you actually have to work at everything. But did you have an image in your head ever, like, I'll have a school someday and it might look like anything, you know? Anything?
It's so weird because when I designed the logo, like, I was in my own studio, which is, it's kind of gone full circle now, but like my original studio was in my dad's first premises where his own business started. And that was so lovely to start out where he started. And he kitted it out and did a hanging system and made it amazing. And I had 3 amazing years there, and it was fantastic. But the logo didn't look like that studio. And then this place came up, and like COVID hit, and I needed somewhere new to go because it was expanding, and where I was residential, it was never going to work long term. So when that came up, and my mom and dad found it, of course, because they were scouting the whole place, and my mom just gets jobs for everyone she knows, and she's incredible that way. If anyone's looking for work, that came up, and I was just like, it looks like my logo, it's just the exact same shape and all. And it was to be knocked down to put like a huge high-rise underground parking apartment building, the same size as the building next door, so that fell through, and then it was just there. And the weirdest thing is actually, in the second term of doing classes there, an elderly woman, she's so fabulous and so quiet throughout the course, and on the last night she told me that this was her house.
Stop.
She was like, I lived here.
I got this. Oh my
She was
God.
like, the kitchenette that you have there, that was my kitchen. And there was loads of stuff, there was books and things that I was like, please keep them in a box. I said to the builders, whatever, I was like, there's bits, I want to keep those, because you never know like who could come back or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did get lost, and I'm so gutted. But no, she was so delighted. She's a really good painter as well. I was very impressed with her. She's like 89. And
That is incredible.
And
I mean,
she
if it
was-
had been knocked to the ground or changed, she never would have been able to go back and feel any familiarity with it.
And the fact that she was quiet throughout the course and only told me at the end, I was like, this is bizarre, and it was amazing.
Wow.
Everyone couldn't believe it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's like, again, like full circle. Like, there's been things like that, and like, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
A very strong
You know?
sense of meant to be. And there's a very strong sense of yourself in your story. And what I mean by is, you seem to have this within yourself the whole time, this magic, this journey, you know, no one told you to do it, no one told you not to do it. Even with the dolls, you're like, I know who I am, I know I'm going to get my doll back. You have a very strong sense of self. So with this next question, I don't even know what the answer is going to be, obviously, but you know, one of my questions is, who is your biggest influence or mentor?
My dad,
Your
definitely.
dad. Okay.
Yeah.
So your dad has passed.
He has. He passed during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just an incredible man. And anyone that knew Cronin, would know that he was a warm, kind, generous, successful, driven, amazing father, amazing granddad, just an amazing person overall. But just so proud of him because he came from very humble beginnings. He's from Guinness, he's from a farming background. He was probably thought expected to go along and do the same thing that his brothers did, but he wanted an education, to his dad's dismay. But his mother supported him and got him a high Nelly bike, and he cycled into Rathmore. Oh God, that was tough. So the dedication was there, the drive was there. Then he became a fisher and leaper, did an apprenticeship, and went out on his own and started his own business alongside where we lived. Grew that. Started up in the industrial estate, Torque Engineering, which is still going strong. My brother is running it now, and he's just such an inspiration to me because he wouldn't expect anyone to do what he wouldn't do himself. He'd be on the floor welding with all the lads and just coming home with steel in his eye, and Mom would have the fire on a Saturday, so it'd all be fine, and we'd watch blind date to be grand. And they'd go out then for their drinks on a Saturday night. It was just he was just an amazing inspiration. And my brother and sister are both I suppose entrepreneurs as well, because we've had that drive from home. My mom and my dad have been just so supportive of us in any venture, and also he was great crack, and he had such a good sense of humour and good wit. One time on holidays, we were in this really fancy restaurant in Torremolinos, which is very fancy. Or is it Benalmedina, is what we call it, Benalmedina, isn't it, what it really is. The Spanish Gardens, for anyone, I don't know if it's still there. And this mime came into the restaurant, and was I'm an awful mime, I'm sorry, or whatever mimes do. And he was miming around the place anyway, and my dad could I could see in the corner of my eye, I was he's got to do something. So he's such devilment in him. I love that about him as well. He's such devilment, and I could see the mime coming close to him. I was what's he going to do? And the mime started going anyway. And then I think the mime kind of half pretended to hit him, and my dad just went, and fell off the chair, and he knocked the chair over and right to the table with him, and the whole restaurant were and the mime actually nearly lost his life. The mime was are you okay? He broke character. I didn't think my dad would stop laughing. So he would always be up to that kind of devilment as well. So he is just great man. So that would be my answer to that.
That's a beautiful answer. And do you still feel that energy now when you're running your own business? And you talk a little bit about the steel and the eye and coming home and being when I met you for coffee the other day, you're I've got painting all my clothes. You're stuck in. I think you always have that as well. That same energy.
My dad would be the same. He'd be that way, and I feel I'm. If you're going to Botanical and paint, I actually met Don, Catherine's husband, in Super Valley one day. I was absolutely mortified because sometimes I just forget to look in the mirror because I just keep going, and I'm running and racing or whatever. And I went into Daly's and I met Don, and he had the grandkids and whatever, and Emma, and having the chats, and then he was Tracy, you go into the bathroom there and fix yourself. And I actually thought he was messing with me. I was and he was no, actually, will you go to the bathroom? I had all black, all oil paint on my face, and I was walking around with the beard for 2 hours, and no one said anything to me. And I had got a coffee, and I was why are you going to be coming in now? But this just happens to be going on from Crawford all the time. I go meet the guys and we see it. You just go and check yourself out before you come into this place.
You wear your career with pride. All over your face. That's amazing. And you've got that big character, as well. Even when you're chatting now, you've got you draw people in. I've interviewed a few people, something like an actress, and some have nothing to do with the arts. But the question I want to ask you is: did you ever want to be famous or well known?
Get thought about it too much. I just think I always wanted to make my parents proud. That was always important to me, and I always wanted to be good at whatever it was that I chose to do. But to be famous for famous, that never really interested me. Britney Spears, it didn't work out well.
No, that didn't go very well. No.
So that was evident to me growing up.
Yeah. So
wasn't.
not an important thing. Yeah, and even some people you talk to like singers or actors and you think they're going to say yes, and some say no, I just wanted to do the thing. And it's a byproduct of it. Is recognition, because that when you were in that competition and made that incredible Coca-Cola inspired piece, is recognition, because I'm just thinking from the music world, recognition or someone saying you are good, you're talented, is in your world, has that, or is that a big thing for people in art? Like, you know, is that something that holds a lot of weight?
Oh,
Someone's opinion?
100%. I think it is in all aspects of the arts. I think everyone likes to be recognised for what they're doing, and that what they're doing holds value, and because we're not, you know, we're doing it because we want to do it, and it's kind of an innate thing within me to make things and to create things. But I think that you know, you're not doing it in a vacuum just for yourself. Also, you're doing it to share experiences, to share who you are, and for that to be recognised is, you know, it's important that that what you're putting out there has value.
And have you ever gotten any negative feedback about something, like something creative, something that you actually created from your own mind and put into, painted it or created it, and for someone to come along and make a technical comment about that? You know, even with singing, there's a bit of that. I hear a singer and think, oh, they're amazing. Someone says, oh, they're wasn't great, you know, bar 7. They made, you know, that kind of thing has never interested me. Notes, yeah. So how do you feel about that? Someone getting technical about something that's very emotional to look at, that means something, but they get technical about it.
I think it grows thick skin. You just like our college for 4 years, like nearly beat me down. I nearly gave up twice.
Really?
Yeah, I took 1 year over 2 years, and I just found that aspect of it very hard and challenging because you know, you'd have lecturers like saying all different things, pulling you in different directions. It's subjective what you're making anyway. And then, you know, someone will go, that's another pretty painting. You're like, what do you want from me? And then you're like trying to make people happy, and then it's like, what I realize is just do what you want to do, and you're not going to please everyone anyway. So, you know, you just have to like, just kind of get up and just get through it.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. I've heard a lot of people say what you said, having to drop out or like taking a break or never doing this thing again after college. It's such a pity because I suppose with anything in the arts world, be it performance or any type, it comes from a very kind of natural, as you said, a natural want or need or desire or gift. And then that college experience for a lot of people can take that kind of magic out of it a little bit. Yeah.
It can, but like again, it does. Like if you can get through it, like it grows that thicker skin, and then you kind of like now me looking back, I was so hard on myself. Like now when I look back, I see it's from such a different lens because I'm older, and like I can give that advice now to students, which is invaluable, I think, which is great. To like go and live your life first before you go to art college, or before you do like anything. Like after the insert, another question. I do feel like students should like, you know, travel, experience life, you know, waitress, do whatever, like do loads of different things, like experience the world, learn, like know yourself. Get to know yourself first, and then figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, that's a really good. I think everyone who I've asked that question, but I know but that happens. We're moving around our questions, but I'm glad that it's coming up naturally. Because a lot of people have to travel or live, or you know, even if I look back at some of the subjects in secondary school, business studies, I was sitting there yawn. But it makes sense now that you've lived life, you understand it now more. So you're right, that gap before college would be really valuable because everything's more tangible because you've lived a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And because you are the teacher now, one of my questions is, do you think there's more importance towards natural talent or hard work?
I think both are very important, but absolutely hard work. Because I think no matter how much talent you have, if you don't have a strong work ethic, if you don't have drive and ambition, you're only going to get so far. But like obviously if you have both, fantastic. But talent can also be grown, and like people can learn things. It's amazing what people can learn, and like again, it happens with me all the time. Like some of the adults that come into my classes are just doing it for a social outlet, and just to relax. And I've some moms just being like, I don't want to put my child to bed tonight, so I'm coming to our class. It's your job tonight, and it's just, you know, they're coming for all different reasons. And then you have people saying, I can't trust your guy. It's like, who said that? Who made that up anyway? Because I can't trust your guy. But that's what we're for. But like again, it's like you know, I've seen people who really have had no confidence or a bit like who think they've no ability and like come out with incredible stuff just through hard work, consistency, and keep painting, keep going. And then it's like then they're so surprised. And I have people coming with me or since like the older artists, but like in the last few years as well. And some of them are painting like incredible things, and I'm just so proud of them. And yeah, again, some of them were just out of capital straight down.
Yeah, they said to you before they came in, and it's lovely because some of the last guests, a lot of them have mentioned what's come up a lot is, especially with my last guest, Susan Goodwillie from the West End, is the art feeling like it's not for everybody. But when you speak, I kind of feel like, oh, you're doing it. You know, your people are coming in through. You're doing your sip and paint, and I saw you did a lovely class the other day over the Royal. Was it the Royal you had? You know, you're bringing it out. You're doing great because that's the thing that's hard is for people to think, you know, I was singing lesson or a choir. I'm not just a professional singer, and I said, Jesus, nobody would come to me if everybody was professional singers. But there is it's over there. But you've managed, and I can see you doing it, getting people to feel like give it a go, and then now I'm loving this part of the story that they're not only giving it a go, but they're sticking with it, and then it is for them. You know, you're doing that's an incredible thing. You're doing so well done with that.
Thank you.
You should be very proud of that. Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do. And it's a silly question, but you feel that's rewarding, isn't it?
That's my favourite part.
That's your favourite part.
And same with the kids. Like the kids, I get so much out of them because like at one stage I was like, oh, I do primary, and then I was like, I'll have to teach everything. I don't want to teach like everything. So I was like, okay, secondary is the route. And then now having my own school that I can teach young kids and like the joy of kids, kids are amazing, and their creativity and their positivity and just the crack. They're so funny. Kids are brilliant. Some of the stuff I hear, I'm like, I shouldn't be hearing this now. I tell you everything. But they're great fun, and some of the things they make and the possibilities are endless with children. But with all people, and I find that like I just love working with people in that capacity, and like just trying to get that creativity out of people because we all have it.
Yeah, and you're working with people across all ages, that's not easy to do. And you yourself are working with all of them across all ages, and your business is attracting people of all ages. And you've got you've so much to say, because I'm really intrigued what you say about this question, because even the wisdom you've given to our leading searchers already, you know, if there was a book written about your life, what would it be called, and why?
Trust the process. I'll have to give an art term here, or else work in progress.
Oh,
yeah, trust the process because it's about, it's very cheesy guys, but it's about the journey. It's not about the end goal. But I do just love the day-to-day of what I'm doing, and you know, I don't like necessarily have like this like, okay, I'm going to grow this, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing right now, and I feel that's all we can do. You know, it's just be in the present and just make the most of what we're at and enjoy this moment where we're at.
Yeah, that's great. And who would you like? Is there anyone in particular, any age group, any sex, or anything that who'd like to read your book? You know, who'd benefit most from it?
I think anyone that has any kind of creative curiosity would benefit. Or maybe people going, oh, I don't know now, but then there might be bits in it that they might go, okay, maybe I will go to a class. Yeah. Mom, sometimes.
Oh, Mom, Mom.
Mom,
I thought you'd be
going to a class. Well, we'll get there someday. By the way, my little girl, Florence, is an amazing artist as well. Again, she did make Stone, but she's teaching Mom won't come to my classes because when I'm teaching, my mom's finding Florence, because Florence can't come to all my classes because she'll go and sing. She teaches my mom now. Mom could only draw ducks, but now she could draw swans, and she's progressing like so well. So I'm very proud.
Well done. I'll interview you next week. Isn't that lovely? My mom has threatened to come for a singing lesson a few times, so you never know, I might get her again.
To a collab.
I was going to say, you sing lessons with me.
Oh, I'm singing. Moms. Mom swap.
Mom swap. That'll be another book here, right?
Yeah, breaks. Loads of ideas.
Oh, fantastic. And obviously art, in terms of the kind of art you've been involved in, put that to one side for this question, but The question is, what role has the arts played in your life? Has any other aspect of the arts played a role in your life or a significant role in your life?
Yes, music, absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so my dad, again, going back to my dad, we do music room upstairs and he collected vinyl. And he one of those, I don't know if anyone remembers, you know, the stacked Sonys where they like, you know, have the tapes and the CD, it's all stacked and then there's the record player at the top. That was played a lot in our house. So my dad would like put on classical music a lot. And then after Braveheart, I decided I have to learn the uilleann pipes. So I was kicked out of the house.
Then you moved out?
I was kicked out of the house for a period, so that didn't last too long. But I still play the flute and I play trad music. A lot of, on my mom's side would be a lot of trad musicians on my mom's side. I played piano for a good few years, not so much anymore. Went back 2 years ago and then it was, God, it's very stressful. So you have to like commit a lot of time. You just have to have time.
Yeah.
But my music was always like very, like, and still even making art, like music is just at the core. I can't make art in silence. I have to have something that's driving it or what I'm feeling. So I have like lots of playlists.
That's going to be my next question. So do you like listen to a very specific type of music if you're going to be doing something very specific?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, is classical more connected to a specific type of?
I think classical is usually like a nice, mostly because it's just nice and calm and it allows me to kind of think. Whereas things with words and stuff, it's very distracting to end up singing and then who knows where they'll go, like, so anything could happen. But yeah, mostly classical and just kind of like, you know, kind of soft kind of music. But look, Florence and the Machine will be that every so often.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, you got to put that up too as well. And would you have music playing in your school as well when people are doing classes?
Yeah,
okay.
Soft music again.
Soft music.
Just nice and chill.
I love when I hear about like different parts of the arts being put together. I think that's so lovely. I think there's someone we're both in the arts working group and someone was talking about having poems and music and everything put together. And I think that's lovely to get the whole experience of that.
100%.
And I think learning would benefit from that. Really, really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So music plays a big part. So I'm not sure if you're a TV or movie buff, but movie. Okay, so we'll go with which well-known movie character do you identify most with?
Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, you knew that. I don't know Ariel from Mermaid.
I just always wanted to be a mermaid. Plus Eric is very cute.
It's Eric. And did you sing all the songs? You said you were a Disney kid.
I was upset. I think I watched Ariel like for a whole year non-stop. Like I'd be a bit obsessive when I like something. I get very obsessive with it.
Right.
So yeah, my grandma they're like something. They have to rewind the tape, which is now I can just play it. I don't anymore now. I've outgrown Ariel.
Okay. She gave up her voice, which isn't great, you know.
It
Yeah,
is.
she's not that inspired in that way.
Yeah.
You know, she came around.
For a guy.
For a guy.
I'm more into the new Disney where they're being heroes like Moana now.
Yes.
That'd be more my jam of Florence.
Yeah, the empowering feeling. Yeah. Okay, you had that answer pretty quick. And a little bit more. It's a bit like with the book, but how would you like to be remembered?
I think as someone that gave back to the community and contributed something of value. And I suppose someone that's, you know, fun. I have a lot of fun with the kids and with the people I work with. So I'm sorry I can't get very deep on this one.
No, God, I love that answer. Fun is a great thing to be remembered for.
Yeah.
Great thing. Fun. I like the fact that that's not something really sad. I mean, you should be remembered for something
I
good.
feel like I should have like a more in-depth answer for that one.
No, I love that. I think if anyone can say, God, he was great crack, or she was great
Yeah.
crack, you know, you look back fondly on them, you know, so that's lovely. Especially with such a morbid question, it can go in a very dark direction, but no, I really like that. And I think everything you represent in terms of, you know, even your school, it looks fun. Everything you share, it's fun. It's fun. Everything you're sharing is fun in a beautifully creative way, you know, it's just really, really well done, and I can see why it's drawing people in. Fun draws people in, and you're giving that, so fun is a very strong one. And it's interesting you thought it should be something more poignant, but like fun is, everybody wants to be around a fun person, you know, so that's a really good way to be remembered. We did cover the leaving cert, but you know, we'll tap into a little bit more. So if you had one person from, I don't know, say a leaving cert class in front of you right now, and is the travelling, is that the main thing you would say, like to take the time before going to college? Is there anything else you'd say to them?
Even like do PLC courses. I think upskill, learn what it like, try lots of things. You know, do classes, do courses, get a job. You know, just live life, get to know yourself. I think it's so important because I think it's changing now, which is great. But I think when we went to school, like it was tunnel vision. It's just like if you don't know what to do, you'll do an arts course because that's the back. You know, like there was always like that is very set in stone. Whereas I think now there's so much more opportunities and avenues for kids, which I think is fantastic. That it's just not one direction.
Yeah.
And to take a bit of time out is great if you're unsure.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, but again, like I just hear some students wanting to do psychotherapy and stuff, but I'm like, you're 17. You know, you're going to be qualified at 21. Should you not live life before you become a therapist?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's that, I think, just living life and traveling, gaining experiences elsewhere, and it will benefit you.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you gone into schools and spoken? Because someone like you, and I said the same thing to Lily McMonigal when I interviewed her as well, for people who, especially the arts, you know, side of things, because that's what this interview series is all about, the arts at the heart. For someone, when I was in school, for someone in the arts to come in who is successful at it, and to come in and give the advice you're giving, but also just to be there as a successful businesswoman, I think is so, that in itself is powerful. Have you gone into schools and spoken?
I haven't
Yet.
that yet.
Yeah.
Like I've done, I've delivered projects and I do all, and when I'm in schools, I'm chatting away to the students and trying to, you know, impart whatever knowledge I have, but not in a speaker capacity.
Okay.
Yet.
Exactly. Because I think what you have to say is really powerful. So that would be, you know, piece of advice there. We're near the end now, and I just wanted to ask you a couple more questions. So, is there an artist that's well known, living or dead, that you would like to meet, and what would you ask them?
I'd have to meet Florence Welch from Florence and Machine. I know I've done it throughout already. I just adore her. I've seen her a couple of times live. Her music is just really, you know, important to me, and I think even her lyrics are so visual, and like when I listen to it, she's such a positive feminine energy and a powerful point of view. So I'd love to meet Florence and delve into all of her music, and she's also an artist. She draws, she does poetry, like she's so interesting.
What would you ask her?
So, what would I ask her? Oh, I'd love to talk about particular songs and different albums.
What was that about? Who was that about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And you're obviously a huge fan of hers, and it's interesting, it's not just the music, she's got all that other creativity going on as well. So you're drawn to people who have the whole lot going on.
I'd love to meet Frida Kahlo as well. She's my favourite visual artist.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know who that is, but you have to tell me who that is.
The eyebrows?
Oh,
Mexican
yes,
artist.
yes, sorry, yes. I drew
Sorry, I think everyone agrees with that.
I had a blind panic until eyebrows happened. I was like, oh yeah. I thought I was the only one with a blind, no, and I was going nodding, and I said, no, Grace, be authentic. I don't know who that is. I do know now.
She's probably the first very successful female artist in her own right, and I suppose coming from Mexico, that was a very challenging kind of place to, you know, start that career. But her work is autobiographical. It's hard for me to say. You know what I mean? And it's all to do with herself and her way of relating to the world and allowing herself as a woman to express her identity and what it was to be a woman in that time. She was in a really horrific tram accident when she was 19 years old, and that crippled her for the rest of her life. So she was a whole year bedridden, and art kind of got her through it, and then she became like really, really famous years later. But she's just so inspiring. Her work is a bit like, it's so surreal. There's monkeys, and she'd pet monkeys, and she'd all loads of animals, and she's so vibrant and colourful. She's just a big character and really interesting. So I'd love to meet her.
She did her own. When
she also went to school in Mexico, when she was in her later years, and she got loads of children and people in from the community. So she gave a lot back as well. So she's very inspiring.
Very inspiring. And you said she's hugely successful, or she was one of the first women to be so successful in that business. Your last serious question before we get to the wild card, the quick fire at the end there. What is, in your opinion, the key to success?
I would say passion, because you have to have a passion for whatever it is you're doing, because if you don't have that drive behind it, it's not going to go anywhere. So you have to have that passion within you that you love what you do. Like when I go into work, it doesn't feel like work unless I have to do my admin and finish my mom house. That's the side, we all have to do that. So I think passion, drive, being consistent and having like good routines, good people around you, like knowing where to delegate, knowing your strengths and knowing where you need help is important. And just the graft as well, like just putting in the work. And knowing that what you're doing is of benefit. Like you're doing it for a reason, you're not doing it just for the sake of it.
That probably is the key, I think, knowing why you're doing it, the bad.
Knowing your why.
Know your why. That's it. Yeah. Apart from even when you're doing taxes and admin
like I know why I'm doing it, I have to do it.
Yeah, but you've got your reason at the end to do everything. Tracy, you've just been everything you said. I'll give you a round of applause now because we're going to see the questions at the end. So inspiring. And it's amazing, like, I started this in August and the whole idea behind it was I stepped away from the arts last year and I thought, I'm done with this now, this is going to be it. And then during the summer I said, I'd love to find a way to get people into these kind of seats, into these kind of venues in a way that they might not realise they're going to hear about the arts. We're kind of just sneaking you in and kind of hoping, so that's why I say the arts is always at the heart. And it didn't work out because you were going to be my first guest, but I'm so glad now we're meeting you in your Christmas and this seems to suit, because you're so magical. So it's lovely. I'm so glad you're the last guest of the year and I hope to bring it back again next year. I just want to thank all of you for coming. And I hope that it'll grow and grow. Guests like yourself coming in and giving such different answers. Every different guest has their own vibe, their own magic, their own colour. So this is the last one for this year. So I just want to say thanks to all of you for coming. And Kerry County Arts have been really, really supportive of it as well. Thanks to my husband John and Anna, who I think are outside selling tickets. And there's a newsletter out there. If anyone is not on it, you can sign up to that. I do have a little special offer on my CDs for Christmas. It's a very special offer. My 2 Christmas records are out there. Anyone who would like to get some Christmas gifts, they're there too. And just want to thank my friend Bernice, who's not here tonight. She gives me the seats every week, so I don't own these seats. But apparently they were in Paris Fashion Week, not these actual seats, but not these. So they're very famous from Soul Talks Live and Paris Fashion Week.
They're very comfortable.
They're very comfortable. So someday I'll be able to get my own seats. You'll know I've made it when I got my own seats. It's really taken off. So yeah, I just want to wish you all a lovely. It's the first time I'm saying it. Christmas, can we say it? I won't see you all again until next year. So well, not this way. My parents are wondering why they're not going to see me again until next year. But yeah, happy Christmas. We got the tree out. So we're going to do a little silly quick fire round at the end. Nothing poignant here, okay? All is about speed. Okay, so tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Right. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Last thing you googled?
Hercules. The musical. I'm going to London next weekend.
Okay, I was going to say the contest, you gave contest.
Hercules.
Hercules, okay. a food you can't stand?
Oysters.
Oh, yeah. And one word your friends would use to describe you?
Fun again.
Fun, yay! Thank you all so much.